What is going on, everyone? I want to talk about what to do when things feel hard. I've been talking to a lot of business owners recently, and I've heard from many of them that things are hard right now. I don't really know why that seems to be a theme, but things have been hard in my business as well. And I was having a conversation with my wife this morning, and she encouraged me to make a podcast on this. So I'm going to talk about what I do when things feel hard. If you get value out of it, great. If not, I hope you get some sort of entertainment value. But who am I? My name is Ryan Rice. I'm a full-time real estate investor. I'm in my 5th year full-time after spending 14 years as a W-2 employee. I share this stuff with the hopes that it helps you. One thing I've thought a lot about is how my perception of hard has evolved. So, for example, when I was at Target, first, it was hard to learn how to get people twice your age to listen to you and respect you. Then it was hard to figure out how to get so much done with such little resources. Then it was hard to figure out how to influence people without authority about something that was not a priority for them. And when I left after 14 years, I was like, man, I've helped lead a $4 billion business. I've led large teams, many direct reports, many indirect reports. I've been personally accountable for a $50 million business. How hard could it actually be to start my own business? And my mind was blown after I left, how little I actually knew. And what I thought once was hard actually paled in comparison to being 100% responsible as a business owner. And now, after 4 years of doing it on my own, it continues to be hard. And here is what I take away from that. Hard is the constant. What I feel is hard now, I'm probably going to look back on 10 years from now and feel the exact same way as the story that I just told you. But the new problems that I'm facing 10 years from now will feel just as hard as the problems that I have right now, if not harder. And so embracing the fact that things will likely always feel hard is actually, to me, incredibly freeing. Because it means when things feel hard, I don't need to run from them. It doesn't mean that there's something wrong. The goal is not to make things feel easy. Because if we're growth-oriented and we're happy but never satisfied, then things being hard is the prerequisite. It's the price that we pay. And so simply reframing what hard feels like and removing the demand from the universe that things, quote, shouldn't be hard can, to me, actually be incredibly freeing. And another thing that's helped me recently is just constantly saying to myself, okay, things are incredibly difficult. And this is actually exactly why most people quit, because of how hard they are. And so the mere fact that I will refuse to stop will push me beyond where most people end up. And when I went through my big contractor issue, for example, and he walked off of 20 simultaneous jobs with hundreds of thousands of dollars more than the work that he had completed, I constantly told myself, this will be the story that I will one day tell. And what exactly do I want that story to be? And, looking back, I'll never forget this. After all of that happened, I was trying to figure out what to do, and I was reaching out to people in my network, seeking out advice. And I had one guy say to me, and this was a guy who was relatively big in the space, still actually a guru to this day. If I said his name and you're in real estate, you probably know him. He said to me, why don't you just give all of the houses back to the bank? And I remember when he asked me that question, one, I was blown away because I didn't even know that was an option. Like, it just didn't exist to me. That thought had never even occurred. I didn't know that was a thing. But even after learning that I could do that, it still felt like had I did that, I would be surrendering to the situation. I would be giving up. And I knew that if I fought my way through the adversity that I got myself into, then one, I would become someone who I want to be. And two, I would learn things that I didn't currently know now. And then what I learned would make me a better business owner in a future. And actually what I didn't anticipate is that adversity would actually make me a better man. And so just asking ourselves, what story do I want to one day tell? Who do I want to become? And how can this experience that I'm in right now get me closer to being that person? And me constantly telling myself that I cannot lose if I don't quit. All of those things helped keep me going when things get tough. And I've talked a lot about this before, but that is exactly why I think it's so important to get crystal clear on who we want to be. Because when we're clear, then we can make a decision on whether or not we want to pay the price to become that person. And if we have not heard directly from someone who has achieved what we want to achieve, what that actual price to get where we want to go, what the actual cost is, then we may not know the true price in the beginning. We might walk into the store thinking we could buy a pair of Nikes for $30, but when we get there, we realize that the Nikes are actually $150. And we get sticker shock. It can feel like a punch in the face. But when we learn the price and we realize that the price doesn't change and we don't get to decide what the price is, we can only decide whether or not we want to pay it. It's a lot easier to make that decision if we're clear on who we want to be. If we want to be the person who wears the Nikes, then we will do what is required to figure out how to pay the price. And it's the same when we get clear on who we want to be. And we're very clear on the price of becoming that person. And because of that, we can make the decision that we're willing to pay that price. But what doesn't change is what the price is. And you don't get to decide that. So if you are going through something hard, maybe you're in a period where you're asking yourself, am I even doing the right thing? And you're questioning the meaning of your life. You're asking yourself, is this even worth it? Just know that to me, that's normal. It doesn't have to mean that something is wrong. And I think that if you truly want to win, that feeling probably never goes away because there are always new problems to solve. And instead of running from them, if you simply make the decision to let this hard moment be what will shape you into who you have the potential to become, then you can achieve what you actually want to achieve. I've heard someone say when they were trying to figure out what the difference was between a winner and a loser. And the person said, it's not what winners have that losers don't. It's actually about what they don't have. And that's an off button. And I love that because if you think about people who have achieved something exceptional, they have become utterly obsessed with the thing that they're after, and they just don't know how to stop doing it. And so very quick, very short, but it was what's top of mind. And I hope hearing some of that was helpful for you. Maybe just hearing that I have incredibly hard moments might help. But if you know someone who's going through a hard time and you think this would help them, will you send it to them? Word of mouth is really the only way that this podcast grows. And so sharing it would be much appreciated. And maybe you can help someone reframe the hard that they're currently in and give them what they need to do to actually get through it. So thank y'all for listening. I appreciate y'all, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.